And a hello, everyone. Welcome back to the program. I am your host, Randall White. This is Eat, Drink, Explore Radio's Market Fresh Hour. It is now 33 minutes past the hour. Great to have you with us today, as always. And I should let you know that this portion of Eat, Drink, Explore's Market Fresh Hour is brought to you by Sidecar Restaurant in downtown San Luis Obispo on Broad between Higuera and Marsh Streets, right there in the heart of the downtown. And whether you're considering heading out for brunch on a Sunday or just after the farmer's market or during the farmer's market on a Thursday evening, Sidecar is the place to be, and it should be at the top of your list. Sidecar has a constantly changing seasonal menu with some favorites that get carried over, of course. Lots of local ingredients and a wide array of vegan and vegetarian dishes, plus plenty of meat for the omnivores out there. And throughout the month of November, it is Movember. You'll have to check out the staff there. They have they're growing mustaches for men's health, and some of the staff, even the women, they took Mo one step further, and they have mohawks. So give them a thumbs up and say hello at Sidecar. Let them know you heard about it on the radio. Okay, so it is November, and we are rounding out all of harvest season here in California, and thought this would be a good time to meet one of the artisan producers in the state, specifically one that has relocated to the Central Coast from the Sierra foothills. Joining us on the Eat, Drink, Explore Market Fresh Live line right now is Marti Menacho with Olivas de Oro Olive Company in Creston. And welcome to the program, Marti.
Hi, Randall. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that.
I think your story is fascinating because you took 100-plus-year-old trees that were planted more than a century ago there in the Sierra and moved them all the way to Creston, which is in North County, San Luis Obispo. That had to be a huge undertaking.
It was, yeah. I always thought that my husband was a maniac, but when he told me that he was planning on doing this, I just didn't know what to think next.
Right. So I guess to back up even farther, your husband was a bit of a foodie because he found himself in restaurants quite a bit, right?
Right, yeah. Our previous business before opening Olivas de Oro 13 years ago was a fish brokerage business, and he personally fished and had other boats fishing up and down the California coast for him, and he delivered to restaurants.
In the Monterey area and the South Bay and in that region, correct?
Yeah, anywhere. The boats were anywhere from Santa Barbara to San Francisco.
Okay. And so when he then decided that olives would be the deal, I guess you started in the Sierra foothills. How did you end up in Creston?
Well, we've been coming to the Central Coast for at least the last 25 years. We were young and newly married and starting our families in Santa Cruz, and a really good friend of ours decided to move to the Central Coast to have more of a wholesome life. Mm-hmm. So we started visiting them, and at first we thought they were crazy because we were, so cool and in Santa Cruz. And then every year we came to visit them, and found that we fell in love with it over time.
Creston's beautiful. I used to help judge a chili cook-off there every October that raised money for a local scholarship fund. The people are just fantastic. Uh-huh. So we are rounding out olive harvest season. Am I correct on that?
We're really kind of just starting it.
Oh, okay.
Olives start right after we finish with the grape harvest around here, and we're just starting to harvest and just starting to press our new olive oil.
So I'm hitting you at a busy time, and I know that some of the trees you've planted are Arbequina, which I got to tell you is my favorite varietal when it comes to olive oil.
Uh-huh.
I love Arbequina. It's a Spanish oil.
It is. In fact, all of our varietals are all Spanish. Mm. We've got Mission, Sevillano, and Arbequina.
And does that just seem to fit the terroir of the region a little bit better?
No, there's a lot of Italian grapes, olives in the area as well, too. Mm-hmm. In fact, my husband puts in orchards and, smaller plantings and stuff for, wineries. And, a lot of times they choose the Italian varietals.
More and more people are using olive oil. And there was just an article out the other day that I saw in the Sacramento Bee that was talking about how extra virgin olive oil isn't necessarily extra virgin, especially when it comes from overseas, but that California is pretty much on the mark when it comes to extra virgin. How do local producers police themselves on that?
Yeah, actually, that actually is one of the most difficult things is to, is the consumer awareness about what's good and what's not.
Hmm.
In California, we have the California Olive Oil Council, which is a nonprofit, works with legislation, et cetera. But they also have a tasting panel.
Mm.
And with the tasting panel, you have to submit your oils for a sensory evaluation and also a chemical evaluation to ensure that they truly are extra virgin.
Oh.
And then if you pass, then you get to put their seal on your bottle. And that's how the consumers know that this was a quality olive oil.
So that's something to look for is the tasting seal.
Right, the California Olive Oil Council seal.
Oh, and your husband sits on that council too?
He does, yeah. He's been on the taste panel since 1982.
That's fantastic. Marti, tell me, your products I know are available in a wide range of places, including restaurants and shops. You have, in terms of retail locations, lots of places you can be picked up that's in our listening area, including, let's see here, Cambria, Los Gatos, Paso Robles. I'm just looking down the list.
Yeah, we started our business really before we moved the trees. We were in the San Francisco Bay Area, so we have a number of stores in that area. And now that we've moved a little further south, we're starting to do some retail stores here. We Olive is one that's located throughout California, and we're in all of their stores. We do a couple different farmers markets as well, too. And you can find the locations on our website.
Yeah, which is olivasdeoro.com. And I see that you're at River Cafe and Cheese Shop in Santa Cruz, which is a great place.
Yeah.
So quickly, one more thing about your olive company. Do you have a tasting room if people find themselves in the Creston area?
We do. We have a tasting room that's open Friday through Monday from 11 to 5. We do a lot of things out there. In fact, one of the things that we do is an olive oil club. So we have club pickup parties, and we try to incorporate food really into everything we do.
Mm-hmm. And that is, olives and wine and food are all becoming really big and all pretty much tied together. It seems like where there's good olive growing regions, they are hand in hand with great grape regions, right?
Right. And you see that, it's coming over from Europe. And in fact, there's quite a few wineries around our area that have, small plantings of olives as well, too, that they label their olive oil.
So you will be attending the upcoming San Jose Harvest Festival, November 29th through December 1st. What's that like to be able to see that many people at one time and talk about your product?
It's great because I think that's, like I said, that's the challenge is getting the word out to the public.
Yeah.
And it's not just, seeing a shelf full of olive oils because you can go to lots of stores and just see it stacked up, but really kind of understanding and learning what it is and how to use it and tasting it because they all have different flavors. As you said, you love the Arbequina.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine 10 years ago, you wouldn't even know what an olive oil varietal is.
No. I absolutely would not have. 10 years ago, I had heard of, virgin and extra virgin, but in terms of varietals, I just figured there was, one size fits all.
Yeah, we started off in the wine, industry, and you ordered red or white, right?
Yeah, right.
Then you figured out that you liked different varietals, and you figured out that you liked different regions, and I think the same sort of trend is happening with olive oil.
And when it comes to different types of varietals of olive oil, I would imagine that some work better as finishing oils, like on top of salads or some appetizers, and some work better for cooking.
Yeah, you can cook with all of them, and they do have different flavor profiles, and I just advise people to think of it more like a seasoning as opposed to an oil or something else like that. I try to get people, when they first walk up to taste, and they're a little shy about tasting olive oil, I tell them, I'll make you a little salad dressing. We do a couple drops of the olive oil and a couple drops of the vinegar, and that doesn't seem strange for them to taste it that way. And then they kind of take off and they want to try everything.
Right. We're seeing video on the website right now, Marti, for people that are watching the show online at eatdrinkexplore.com. We're seeing video from the San Jose Harvest Festival. It must be hard to not break away from your booth to go check out some of the other things going on.
Well, yeah, we do have kind of what we call the vendor hour.
Oh, really? Uh-huh.
Which is kind of, it's a Sunday afternoon or kind of late Saturday where it seems to slow down a little bit, and then we actually do our shopping at that time.
Now, I can't let you go without asking, since you said that the harvest is just getting underway, the wine harvest, I mean, the vintners are just over the moon about this year, saying that the weather conditions were perfect for really what may become one of the best seasons in recent memory. I would imagine that translates to olives as well. Everything's going well?
Things are going pretty well. I think we're getting counts in from northern and the central coast, and I think the harvest is going to be maybe a little down this year. We did have some heat right during the bloom time.
Yeah.
And if the flowers get too burnt, then they really don't make olives. So some of the people, I'm on the Central Coast Olive Growers Board. And we were just talking about yields yesterday, and some of my peers are either flat or a little lower than last year.
Marti Menacho, Olivas de Oro. Find her at the Harvest Festival, harvestfestival.com. Marti, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right, stick around, everyone. You're listening to Eat, Drink, Explore. We're back in just a moment.